Hey guys, so I apologize for the horrible audio quality in this one. I hate when I have to record videos at work, but sometimes it's the only place that I have time to do it. So apologies, but it is what it is. So today I wanted to have a quick discussion about an interesting topic in regards to this upcoming Batman game from WB Games Montreal. And I'm really hopeful that we'll finally get to see what this game is in just like 2 weeks, really, at the DC Fandome event on August 22nd. I think it will be nice to finally know exactly what this game is, to see to what extent the Court of Owls are being used, to see what other villains will play a part in the story, to see to what degree the Bat family is playable and how they've evolved dual play, what they've done with vehicular mechanics, like how they've changed up the Batmobile or the Bat bike or whatever they're going to use this time around. And that will be great to finally see. Until then, all we can really do is speculate. But this is a game that has been teased officially for nearly a year now on the official WB Games Montreal's social media pages. And Warner Brothers Games has stated that they will be at the DC Fandome event to show some stuff off. So I anticipate that we'll at least see this Batman reveal, if not also Rocksteady's upcoming reveal as well. So I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us. Until then, like I said, all we can really do is speculate. And in today's discussion, I'd like to go over a topic that I have seen covered to an extent, but it's something that I'd like to give my 2 cents on as well, which is what scope can we expect for this upcoming Batman game? How big will this Batman game be in comparison to something like Arkham Knight? What will the evolution from Arkham Knight to this new Batman game be? And I've seen a lot of people with kind of an irrational fear, in my opinion, which is that this game will essentially be a copy and paste of Batman Arkham Knight, because you look at Warner Brothers Games Montreal's most recent stab at a Batman game, which was Batman Arkham Origins, and that was pretty much a copy and paste of Batman Arkham City. And while I do understand that, I've also seen a lot of the inner workings of Warner Brothers Games Montreal, and I do not foresee that being an issue with this game. I think that we're going to be seeing a pretty massive step up from the previous installment, which was Arkham Knight, just based on the sole reason that from a creative standpoint and from a circumstantial standpoint, these games are just in very different places. Batman Arkham Origins was pretty much mandated by Warner Brothers to Warner Brothers Games Montreal, and they said, you know, Rocksteady's working on Arkham Knight. It's going to take them 3 to 4 years. We don't want Arkham fans to wait that long. We don't want to wait that long for a profit from this franchise. So we want you guys in under 2 years to make an entirely new AAA Batman game that is on par with the other Arkham titles. And we don't want you to change up the gameplay from Arkham City. So Warner Brothers Games Montreal was put in a position where they didn't have tons of creative freedom, and instead they were kind of just forced to adhere to what Rocksteady was doing. They weren't allowed to use a lot of the popular characters as to not mess up the continuity. And honestly, I think that it's pretty telling that they were able to make a very good, passable Batman entry under those circumstances. This time, it's very clearly their vision. They've been given multiple opportunities and many years to rework this game to fit that vision and to bring this passion project of theirs to fruition. And the resources that they have this time around are also pretty staggering, in my opinion. A lot of the developers are different. Patrick Redding is the creative director of this game. He most recently worked over at Ubisoft on the Splinter Cell games. And those are really great stealth games, so for him to work on a Batman game, I think is a really great choice. You also look at the fact that they have everything that Rocksteady contributed to Unreal Engine 3 to work off of. They've been able to rebuild that system pretty much in Unreal Engine 4. So it's an entirely new engine that we'll be seeing this game built on. And it's not just like porting Unreal 3 games to Unreal 4 like Return to Arkham. These are games that are being built from the ground up in Unreal 4 with all of those additions and all of the contributions that Rocksteady made to these games. And they've been able to build off this for however many years. There's also been rumors that in the Damian Wayne Batman game there were features like the Batmobile, and that Gotham City was arguably a lot more comic accurate in terms of just the sprawling skyscrapers of the city. It sounded like you were going to be able to drive the Batbike around. It sounded like the Nemesis system from Shadow of War was going to be there. And there's a good chance that even though it sounds like that game has been reworked into something new, that we will get a lot of those features carried over into this current build of the game. And I'm telling you right now, just if you took Arkham Knight and added a Nemesis system, that would pretty much double the amount of content I don't know, at least give it like a third of that content, or I don't know, like an extra half of that content. It would be a really substantial amount of additional playtime. It would warrant a lot of replays to sort of experience different variations of the Nemesis system. I don't really want to explain what it is too much because I've done other videos talking about that, and you can look it up and kind of see how it functions. But basically, it really personalizes your experience with particular enemies in a game, and I think it would just fit so well with Batman, and particularly with the Court of Owls or the League of Assassins. And so if that is indeed what they're going to add, that's going to be a huge change unto itself. Additionally, they've had Scott Snyder contribute constellation to the story, consultation. And I think that is really telling. Scott Snyder is a fantastic Batman writer. He actually is kind of the person who made the Court of Owls and who really spearheaded them into mainstream popularity. He did a lot of work on the New 52 version of Batman, and he's highly renowned as a Batman writer. So the fact that he had involvement in crafting this story it's going to be good. And again, like I said, you have people like Patrick Redding, you have level designers from the BioShock games, and you just look at the evolution from previous Batman games. And you look at, like, for example, the evolution from Asylum to City, then City to Night. And each time, just for one example, the combat has significantly improved each time. The traversal has significantly improved each time. And additionally, the map has increased in scale by 5 times with each new game. Or in other words, Arkham City was 5 times the scale of Asylum, and Arkham Knight was 5 times the scale of Arkham City. And you even look at this new game, and even if that's all that they do in terms of map size, make it 5 times the size of Arkham Knight, that's going to be a staggering city for us to be able to explore. And if we're given the Bat Bike to go around on it, and if it's full of side missions and the Nemesis system and a really great story, I think we're going to be looking at something that is pretty massive in scope. And like I said, even though technically this build of the game may have only been worked on for 3 to 4 years since their latest reboot internally, there's a lot of features and elements that they could have carried over from those previous games to build upon. So I think that what we'll be seeing is perhaps not the biggest game of all time, but I just think about the possibilities. The fact, again, that this is being built in a whole new engine, and then I think about the graphical capabilities that this game will have. I think it's going to be by far the best looking Batman game. I think that, honestly, it could be as good as the graphical leap from Arkham City to Arkham Knight was. I think that from a gameplay perspective, there's a lot of potential for stealth to be rebuilt just because of Patrick Redding. I think that from a story perspective, exploring things like the Bat Family and the Court of Owls, which isn't something that we got a ton of coverage of in the Arkham games, it will be something that's familiar, and we'll be so excited to return to a AAA Batman game, but we'll also sort of get this new experience and get to see a lot of these elements that we didn't really get to experience in the previous Arkham game. So I'm personally really excited, and I don't have fears that this will be a disappointing Batman game. I think it's going to be by far the biggest and most impressive technologically Batman game. Whether or not the story resonates with us is determined to be seen, but like I said, when you have people like Scott Snyder on board, I really don't have a lot of fears. I think that we're going to be getting a really great Batman game. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.